Good day and welcome to This Week in Government. I'm your host, Tina Evans, and we're delighted to have with us Dr. Jennifer Attride-Stirling, who is the Deputy Head of the Public Service. We're going to talk about today the Public Service Strategic Plan. It's a 3-year plan that is being instituted this year, and Dr. Attride-Stirling is one of the leads. Dr. Attride-Stirling, good to have you here.
Thank you, Tina. It's
yes,
very
indeed.
nice to be here.
And you know, This Week in Government audiences may not remember, but you got appointed deputy
in May
head
of this year.
In
So
May.
yeah, just about 6 months.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
You've been handed a serious project.
Well, thankfully, yes.
Yeah, a strategic plan by any means is, and a 3-year strategic plan. Tell us a little bit about the plan. Why now? Mm-hmm.
Why now? Well, it's important to put it in the context that the strategic plan is the successor to the government reform plan that was in place from 2018 to 2023. That plan expired last year, and so last year the work began to have a follow-up plan, right? So the why now, it's because the previous plan ran out, right? And no large organization, and certainly not one of the size and importance as the government of Bermuda, should proceed without a strategic plan. It is an operational plan for the public service, which makes it different from the elected government's public policy priorities. They are fundamentally different from an operational plan for the public service, for the employee part of the service.
And when you say that, you know, let's put in context, the public service is the largest employer in Bermuda, is that correct? And
I believe we are, yeah.
Yeah, and how many public servants do we have?
About 4,000 more or less.
Wow. So this is a major undertaking.
Yes.
And we're talking all kinds of, you know, every area of the public service.
Absolutely. I mean, the public service is definitely the most varied place to work as an organization in any country, not just in Bermuda, right? This is the characteristics of our public service are reflected in any government at all. So it's everything from executive jobs, but also media jobs, but also jobs that are in the field, whether on the water, in parks, front-facing jobs, whether it's people paying bills, paying taxes, or receiving benefits, whether it's your insurance or your pension or financial assistance. The range of jobs in government is greater than in any other sector in society.
And we're going to come back to that and then later in the segment about careers in the public service. But let's talk about the plan. Tell us some of the key points of the plan, the key components. What's the goal? What's the objective? Number one, I guess, and then we can go from there.
Right. So the most important parts of the plan are really the mission and the core values that are listed within it. As a strategic plan, it provides a vision, mission, core values, and strategic goals for a 3-year period for the operation of the plan. Now, in plain terms, what that refers to is that it describes for our employees why we're here as a service and who we are as a service, and how we will strive to be our best selves over the next 3 years. Right?
Okay, so what are some of the core components?
The core components, sure. Our vision is a future forward government for the people of Bermuda. That is the same vision that was established by the cabinet for the government reform plan, so we're continuing that since 2018. Our mission is also the same, and it's very important that the mission be kind of absorbed by all of our employees and really built into the DNA of everything we do. And it is quite meaningfully enhancing the lives of the people of Bermuda. That is a mission that I think all public officers can really relate to. I have met very few, and they really are a handful, who are not here to serve the public and to make better the lives of the people that we serve. Everyone who lives in Bermuda, Bermudians, residents, guest workers, visitors, we are here for Bermuda and for the public.
Enhancing the lives
of the people of Bermuda.
The people of Bermuda. That's the,
And our core values are really the things that we want to, the core values are new, and they're the things that we want to be built into the DNA of every public officer to drive every decision that we make in every interaction we have with the public, in every transaction we undertake, in every time we come to work. Yeah, and the core values are to be customer-centric, to be future-focused, and to promote prosperity inside the service and for Bermuda.
Yeah. You know, you're talking the language of, I guess, corporate, but corporate language, but we are in a way. Is that fair to say that we?
Of course, but these are corporate core values. It's a corporate mission statement, but ultimately they were designed and developed so that they would speak to people. And to people's heart, to people's souls, and to the things that make work in the public service actually meaningful. Because that is, if you speak to public officers, that is why they're here, because they want to make a difference. That's what public sector values are about. Nobody comes to the public service because they want to make a lot of money. They want to earn a decent living, yes, and they want to make a difference. And so our core values are really built around that. The core values that we ultimately landed on reflect a change in culture, which is what this particular strategic plan is really focused on. Changing the culture of the service and getting us away from a mindset of don't rock the boat, don't fix what's not broken. This is the way we've always done it. More to a mindset of, okay, how can we make this easier? How can we make this easier for our clients, for the people we serve? How can we make it easier within the service? It's about red tape reduction as well.
Oh, good stuff. People love that. Everyone listening is like, great, red tape reduction. But the future focus, I like that. Tell me, what does that mean? Just for the layperson, what does it mean?
For the layperson and for anyone at any level in the organization, it means that we really need to focus on where we want Bermuda to be and in the future, and where we want the service to be. And that's really part of the purpose of having a strategic plan, because we want an entire organization to move in one direction, to move forward in one direction, then you have to all be rowing in the same direction. So that's why we need the mission and the core values. And future focused is about, don't focus on the way that we always did it, focus on the way it should be done, and on the way the public deserves for it to be done.
That's right. Enhancing the lives of Bermuda.
Exactly.
Yeah, of the people of Bermuda. So then, all right, what are some of those initiatives that you're going to be doing within the public service to expand on those core values then?
So they are summarized in the 5 strategic goals that we have, right? Which focus around acting strategically, that is, for everyone to be aware of what the government's public policy priorities are, because ultimately that is what the public service is here to deliver on, services that are legislated or necessary or instituted by policy, and the policy priorities of the elected government of the day. So to act strategically in all the things that we do, and to make sure that those strategies are aligned through our business plans, and through our budgets, and through our performance appraisal processes. The next goal is to be customer-centric. So you will hear a theme there. Customer-centric is a core value. It's also a goal. And that's because that's how important it is to the strategy. And that speaks to the cultural change that we're really promoting. Customer service and customer centricity is not are not attributes that are commonly associated with public services around the world. And it's a new day. It's the 21st century, and we really need to be as good as Amazon, and we need to be as in terms of serving the public, because that is why we're here. So the way that we used to do it doesn't matter, right? It's what do our customers need? What do our clients need? What do we need? Because ultimately we are clients of public services as well. And how would we expect to be treated, and how would we want to be treated by the services that we receive? Because nobody exists in life without receiving public service, right?
That's right.
So that customer centricity is really, really important to the plan. the next goal is to put our people first, right? To put employees first, to really promote high flyers, to recognize good employees, to promote careers in the public service. So putting our people first and rebuilding the service, enhancing retention. We need to stop losing good people, as well as attraction, and just attracting the best talent available in Bermuda. We are pivoting now and putting a lot of focus on putting people first. The next goal is to effect digital transformation.
That's a good one.
And this is a biggie, and this is a pivotal one that actually it does build on the work of the government reform plan, and a lot was put into place and achieved through that. And now we're taking it to the next step. Right now we're going to put it on steroids and really move us along.
So the public could possibly see more digitization of forms and things that you have to fill out, things with government.
Absolutely.
That you, instead of having to run into the, okay, good.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we want the people, and that's the reality of the world today, not just in Bermuda. Everywhere, right? People do things digitally. You want to do things on your phone. You want to be able to do it at your convenience, whether that is first thing in the morning or in the middle of the night. So we have to give our customers our clients that opportunity and that availability, that level of access. And the fifth and final goal is to deliver excellence. And that's about transparency, about accountability, and about being our best selves for the people we serve.
I like it. We'll be, you know what? This is a natural pause. Good pause right now. We will be back to talk. I want to touch on some of those things that you talked about, and particularly careers in the public service, that people piece, retention also of employees. As a good public servant myself, I would love to hear more about that. We'll be back with This Week in Government.
Hello, my name is Joshua Powell, and I am a Maritime Operations Controller here at the Bermuda Maritime Operations Center.
My name is Shauna McGowan. I am a trainee community health nurse at the Department of Health.
My name is Ellington Rico Weldon, and my role is the Operations and Fleet Engineer Trainee for Public Works.
Ready to unlock your potential? The Government of Bermuda offers endless opportunities for professional growth across 50-plus departments. Visit gov.bm/careers-public-service and download our career guide today.
And welcome back to This Week in Government. I am Tina Evans, and again, we're with Dr. Jennifer Attride-Stirling, the Deputy Head of the Public Service, is talking about the Public Service Strategic Plan, a 3-year plan. We finished up talking about digitization, and I appreciate that, and I know the public appreciates the fact that, look, we are in a digital age, and we do need those resources as well. How will that benefit the public servant, though, as well? Will it benefit public servants?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, in all honesty, digitization is the only way to close the resource gaps that exist in the service. Today, there are over 1,000 jobs less in the public service than there were 15 years ago. And we are doing more with a lot less employees. There is no way to close that resource gap than with digital transformation. Even if somehow magically 1,000 competent people turned up and could be hired in a day, that still wouldn't fix the operational problems in the service, because so many of our processes were built for a paper age, right? Where you had to do things in triplicate and photocopies and move a paper from here, to this drawer, to that drawer, for that signature, for that signature. That's not the way of today at all. And so the only way to close resource gaps is actually digitization.
Right. So for the career public servant, is that something they should be fearful of, that They're going to get lost in it, you know.
My goodness, no.
AI is going to take over. Everything's going to take over.
No, absolutely. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. The digitization is a fantastic opportunity because it is an invitation to interrogate your business processes and to say, like, do I really need to do every one of these steps? Do they add value? Now, bear in mind, we are stewards of public resources. There are rules and laws that we have to follow, like financial instructions and procurement codes. We can't skimp on that, right? There's Public Service Commission regulations. There are a lot of what we do is prescribed in law, and we cannot skimp on that. What we don't need is for our brain space to be occupied by complex steps and procedures that don't add value. So this is an opportunity for us to rethink the way we do things, focus on what we're trying to achieve, the steps that we have to comply with by law, and how to make it easier for ourselves and easier for the public, ultimately. So there isn't anything to fear. On the contrary, this is an opportunity for us to actually streamline our processes and be able to do things much more efficiently for ourselves, much more easily for ourselves and the public.
And for in the public and internally.
Absolutely.
Internally for the public servants as well. Absolutely. So we're gonna switch over and just talk a little bit about careers. Will this plan, you're talking about the digitization, I'm sure it will be training involved in this as well.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of training.
Yes, there will be a lot of training because, in fact, one of the actions under digital transformation is to prepare the workforce for the digital future. So we are in the process of planning how we are going to train the workforce, and the leadership development cohort that is in place currently is actually developing, helping us to develop that plan.
What's the leadership development? What is that?
That is a set of people who applied for a program and were selected for leadership development in order to have succession planning, to train the next cohort of directors, of permanent secretaries, of the entire leadership of the government.
Well, that's impressive. You know, you hear people always talking about poor public service.
Yeah.
We get hit on. We're the low-hanging fruit. Blame, you know, whoever at public service. So that's good that you're got this leadership development and training people up and looking succession. These are these corporate words that we need to hear.
And they are the result of the government reform plan, of the previous plan. That is why we have those things in place now. So that the successes of that plan really demonstrate that we can do it, and that we have actually put ourselves in a better position now as a consequence of those achievements, right? We wouldn't have the Public Service Excellence Awards without it either. We wouldn't have the paperless team that has already instituted a lot of digital forms online without those successes. So, and we achieved a lot despite the fact that we went through a pandemic and we went through a major cyber attack.
And I wanted to talk about that because we coming out of the pandemic and then the cyber attack, you're absolutely right. The question became about burnout, stress, people feeling the pressure of having to perform and having to balance that with work and life and performance. Go ahead. What is this plan? Does this plan talk to that or speak to addressing that?
The plan certainly does, absolutely. And the way that we have addressed that is because we really heard from the leadership and from officers on the ground in terms of what do we need right now. And what we heard very clearly is that services are overwhelmed. Many services are under-resourced. There's concerns about sickness levels and stress levels. There's concerns about retention, right, and losing good talent. So we were able to understand very clearly that what people need is actually support, not more things to do, not more busy work. So we focused the strategic plan on how to make things better internally for the service as well as for the public, not on just, a collection of more things to do. This is not about busy work. This is about meaningful things that will improve our lives in the service and improve the lives for Bermuda.
You know, off camera, we were talking about the career in the public service. Back in the day, as you very well pointed out, it was considered something, you know, honorable position, something that you wanted, you worked towards getting a career in the public service.
Yeah, that's right.
Are we going, you know, the younger ones are coming in and they're coming back home and they're kind of not looking at the public service. Yeah, go ahead. How are you as deputy head and the head sharing with us? What you all got to do?
How we as a public service
Okay,
are
like
doing
that,
is we do have the campaign to promote careers in the public service and reimagining careers in the public service, and really showcasing for workers of any age, and young workers in particular, all of the opportunities that are available within government that you won't necessarily find in other sectors. The world has changed, and the demise and the credibility of public services is not unique to Bermuda. It's happened in every single country in the world. So what Bermuda has experienced is part of a global trend, right? We're not unique in that sense at all. Where we are unique is that we have an opportunity to turn things around because we have a much smaller society of very nice people who want to believe in each other and who have each other's backs, right? We don't have the level of friction and animosity between groups that exist necessarily in other countries right now.
Logically.
So the opportunities in the public service are vast, as we were saying in the beginning, to work in so many different areas. Doing good for people, because ultimately when you go home at the end of the day knowing that you helped others, there are very few jobs that can give that level of satisfaction on a day-to-day basis, and that is something that the public service brings that is not unique. It does happen in all other sectors, but that is much more prevalent in all jobs in the public sector. So we do have that to offer.
For anyone out there that is looking to think about it, and also knowing that the public service is looking at this. I like to use an analogy earlier. You know, Amazon. You know, we got to start thinking how do we get that customer centric focus and that future forward focus as well. So what's next steps from here? When did this get announced? I can't remember.
It was announced in September.
Right.
We actually completed the process in June, but the summer was not a good time to launch it, right? We would have missed a lot of people, so we just deferred. We did a little bit more consultation, and we deferred the launch to September.
Right. So next steps, you're rolling out?
Well, next steps is implementing. We are doing it. We are doing it in every aspect, right? In terms of aligning ourselves strategically, the budget process has begun, and so all heads of department have been asked to look at the operational plan, the strategy, to plan their budgets accordingly. In terms of people centricity, putting people's first, we have the promoting careers in the government, in the public service, as well as the other initiatives, the digital transformation. We have new initiatives like ShoreLink, and now paying parking tickets online, and more will be rolled out. So
that's
yes,
all part of that digitization.
It is. So it is in every aspect. We are in implementation mode, and the reason it's easy to be in implementation mode is because we're not starting from zero.
Right.
We have the foundation built by the government reform plan, and we're continuing that good work. Yeah.
Well, as a public servant, I look forward to being a part of the process and learning more, and of course being more. I am customer centric. I believe I am.
Yes.
I believe I am.
Absolutely.
A little more future focus. Got working on that, of course.
But now you will. You see,
absolutely.
My absolute desire is that within the next 3 years, anyone working in the service or outside the service should be able to stop a public officer and ask them, what is your mission and what are your core values, and that people will be able to recite them.
Yeah.
Because by doing that, that is when we will start to incorporate it into our day-to-day practice, into our day-to-day jobs. You're already focused on future focus, you see?
Yeah. Future focus. I'm going to say future focus. Well, I appreciate you stopping by to tell us about the public service strategic plan, and all the best with rolling it out and moving in, implementing. So we thank you, Dr. Jennifer Attride-Stirling, for joining us.
Thank you, Tina.
On This Week in Government. And I know you'll be, while it's an operation and it's internal, I know that over the next 3 years, you'll be hearing more about it. And of course, seeing the results of what's being implemented in the public service. And I want to say the great public service. There's a lot of us out there that are just great public servants, all of us. All right, thank you for joining us on This Week in Government. I am Tina Evans. Thanks for joining.